listeners, Harika here, and I'm super excited to welcome you to Upptalk. If you're ready to learn and get your hands work wonders in the world of information technology, then you're in the right place. When I say Upptalk, we are not just another edtech company. Consider we are your learning partner committed to unlocking your full potential. Whether you're stepping into the world of technology for the first time or looking to advance your career, we provide top-tier, hands-on courses to build up your career. Let's take our first step towards learning here and explore it.
Today, we are going to see about the concept of email automation. I think we have learned the 4 plus 4 in hours is there. In the 8 hours, I need to cover about email automation, PDF integration. Second thing is I need to cover about assets, and then creating library files, deploying the bot, deploying and run, deploying the bot, scheduling and running the bot. This number of topics we have, it would take 8 hours to complete it. I think email automation, PDF integration we complete about Excel. And then maybe, if time permits, we'll see about other type of workflows. Which are the workflows? Hello, let's start with the concept about email automation today. Got it? I checked. Let me open my UiPath Studio. We saw about completely Excel automation, how to read the data, how to write the data. And then you want to ask me about how to work with the macros. I think that I showed you last week how to execute a macro. No macro, you don't show me. How to run your macro. Let me create a sequence. Executing macro. Executing a macro, I need to open the macro file. How to open the macro file? Ajit, you can hear me. Let me take one macro file, which is there in the downloads. And private table is also there. A private table is not there in this studio. We have it in Studio X Ajit. Let me copy this. Copy. My desktop is not wasting. Let me open this. Ajit, let me press it on the 11th. You can see this is a macro Ajit. I'm just taking a simple macro which removes the alphabets and special character from the range of the cell. When I take my cell, you can see here, I have a list of data, which is a combination of alphabets and numbers. Just you can see that I can have comma, like alphabets and numbers I have. I have some symbols. What it will do now, it will automatically remove all the alphabets and special character. If you want to see, macro is only the last decision, as I told you already. You have to try to do all this thing with existing action. If not possible, only we can do it through macro, because macro is not secureable. Many of the clients have told that no, we cannot use macro. You guys try it with the existing action. Other solution, what we did through DL file dynamic link library. One thing is you have to use macro as a last reference. Now I have an Excel where I have alphabets and special character. Now I want to remove it. See, if I want to go through this UiPath, I have to write more than 100 lines of a code. Because I need to take each and every row. In each and every row, I need to check what other characters are available. It will be a big logic. What I can do it? Can I create a macro for this? Now I have this macro. Let me save this file on the desktop. Save a copy. I will keep it in the desktop. You want to replace it. I'm going to call this subject. How to call it? Use Excel application scope. Use. I think I knew Excel application scope. Edges for running a macro. We cannot use that. System integration workbook. We can use Excel application scope only. I'm taking the Excel file which is there in the desktop. And I like this tab. This one is a macro thing. I have the file is in use. Fine. One thing I'll do before I'm copying it. Ajit, I want to copy the macro name. My macro name is very big. I'll copy this macro name. I'm just going to control sync. This is the macro of this part. Macro of this file. Macro of this file. I'm opening that macro file. I will open the macro file now. You know that you can see a command called macro command. When you go and see, you can see the command called execute macro. It will ask you the macro name. What is the macro name? You need to put it in double quotes. You know that I copied the macro name. This is my macro name. Alphabet from cell or range. This is my macro name. In case sometimes the macro may take parameter also. Ajit, you can give an input also, but you know that my macro is not taking any argument. I'm just giving the macro name only. Now you can see that. Let me run the bot. You can see that it will open the Excel sheet and run the macro. Macro is already prepared. Yes, already some technical team. See, in your organization, some technical team should create this macro and you guys can invoke the macro. We are just invoking. Some of the clients are really completely dependent on macro. I don't want to tell. There are certain clients who use completely a macro. Now can you see it is executed? Now can you see it is executed and closed it? You can see that fine. I think you may be seeing that screen. That file is completely. Where is that analytical tab? Analytical tab. Can I open this Excel file? The macro is already there. Macro is already there. Can you see that it is removed? All the special characters and numbers. Sorry, alphabets and special characters. It keeps only the numbers. Correct. Where is the macro? Markout of en. Just if I give Alt F11, this is a macro. If I want to run, I can also run this. Now if I give this Excel file, you can use it. This is a macro. You can call the macro through this function. See, we are separating the number text and special character. We're keeping only numbers. Understood. You will see. Could you please share this file to me also? I will do it. But when you're calling the macro, it should be macro enable file. What is macro enable file? Normally when you take Excel file, we have XS, XLSS, SBSS, but macro enable file should be XLSM. Because for the security purpose. I can open this macro file in my desktop or not. You can open it. But keep in mind that your organization should support that macro enable file. Got your point? Because of trust centers. Got it, Rajiv? Good. It is just simply if someone provide me the macro, then I can run it in the UiPath. Exactly. You have to open the text file and you can use the XLSM macro and you can use the macro name. Can you see the copy, the macro name? Understood? That's it. But I think you are asking about pivot table. Just I'm getting the. I want to get the hint. Because we know it is in the Excel, but how do you think to the UiPath? Can you see create pivot table? You can do it. Now this is a new version. Now you're working with 2022 versions. In that we have an option called creating a pivot table. Now I'll show you that new sequence. Create pivot table. You can use the population file. But I would say we have already one file and population, something that's fine. I think that will help you in creating a pivot table. No, I think we should have some sales detail. One thing, I'll just take some file. I'm taking some pivot. What is that word? I can take it from. There's food and nutrition sales data. Let's take some sales detail. Financial management. You can check some financial data. Financial management is there. Where it is? It is a fax cover. Financial management. Well, it is a will take it much. Maybe inventory. Not a table is not there. It's in what? We have data but cannot say due to the security. Next is I can open this. I have a sales invoice. What is this? Where is the data? Data is not here. I think you can just put the data table, something says revenue. No, I just search for pivot table. Pivot sample example of pivot table. Example of pivot table, where we can download the Excel file. Pivot table. The table is not there. I'm just downloading that Excel file. Create a pivot table. Can you copy this? No, that's what I'm checking it. No, I cannot know. That should be some sample file. Some will extend this X5. Sometime we'll get immediately. Sometime it will example sample data for pivot table testing. Put says is there. Yes, I got it. I'll open a new Excel. Because of Excel. By the experience, we know how to use the data, but just we don't want to do the technique. See, this is the data. You have a data. You have some 145 rows of data is there. Now what I will do now, I want to create it. You want to create a sum of the sales or sum of the unit by region wise and represent device or item wise. How to do that? Let me go to your iPad Excel application scope. I'm opening that Excel file which is on the desktop. Sales detail. Which is the file name? I close this file. No upon that. Now you can add that to be called create pivot table. Create pivot table. When you take a create pivot table, it will ask you some inputs. What is the sheet name? What is the sheet name? I think it is a sheet 1. And sort of the table name. You need to tell about which is your source. You need to talk about the range of your Excel application scope. You need to give and the pivot table name. What is the pivot table name? You want to create it. And then where is it? Column name of the source. Column name, create pivot table. Why there is no option called source table name, pivot table name? Where is the option to customize the pivot table? Sheet name, source table name. It will automatically create a pivot table. Create pivot table. There is two. Create pivot table. This is refresh pivot table. This is what I used, but there should be one activity called what is this table name? That's it. Well, let's see that. What is that source table name? Sheet name source. Table name destination where you want to keep it. And the table name I want to keep it. What I will give source table name is Excel application scope. What other thing ranges where I want to create it? I want to keep it in A1. Let me put it in like 500. Starting range and the name of the table ranges. I'm giving my pivot table. And anything I missed out. Stable name is card at all. I need to give open by data. I need to give it as a double quotes. What is the range of a data? Colon. What is the range? Open that Excel sheet. What does it say? It's detailed. Hour. Let's run the bot. I think it is not customizing. It will create its own pivot table. I think, but in UiPath we have the option to customize our pivot table. Which column you want, which row you want. That's important. Table not found. A 4. Source a table name. What is the source table name? Maybe we can say, I will create a table pivot. I will create a new concept they added. Let me take it as sales. Or just put that into UiPath here. What is the name of the book? Message. Sales is there. Stable name sheet. Name sheet. What is my Excel? Sheet 1. I gave the sales note. It's a sales. Correct table. Name is table. Source table is range. What is the age? Next. The range is the destination where you want to keep that table. And the table name is my pivot table. What is the name of my table? I want it is his destination where you want to keep it. And I think I'm getting an error in the source table name. Why I need to create a pivot table again? Already it is already there. Data is the same. Then what is the use of it? One thing I'll do you, let me go to UiPath. Let me go to this. We can disable this option. Excel application scope, create pivot table. Change pivot data. Screen pivot table. Excel range, new table name destination. Can you see here? Can you see the multiple option? We are getting it here in the previous option. We didn't get it. What is the space range we gave? We gave it as a 1. No sources. So a 1 call. I think D4. D4 6. New table name. What is the new table name? I'm just giving my sales pivot. And then where do you want to keep it? I want to keep it in. What is that 500 I'm giving? And then I'm just, when you come down, can you see a JIT that is? Pivot table. Can you see add pivot table? You know that we can create a pivot table by multiple methods. What are the methods? You know that we have a row, column and filter and value. Which column you want to make it as when you take a range? You can see indicate in Excel. When I click on indicate in Excel, if you open the text, why it is not opening the Excel? It should refresh. Why it is not refreshing? Desk. Sales detail. I'm selecting my sales detail. I'll close it. This is why I'm getting the sources. A1 colon open BI data rerange reference. A 1 colon table range. Table range. Yes, I think sales. It's a sales, but still I'm getting an error. And then why it's doing the destination range. Why it is coming like this? You create a variable or not? What is this destination range? A decision range, I think, where we want to keep this pivot table. That should be simple. But it is creating much. I write range. In UiPath VX is very simple. Here it is too complicated. What is this one? New table name. I got it. Create pivot table. Source is nothing, but I need to tell about that range. A 1-colon range. That's why they are asking it. Excel file is correct. Table range Excel works. That is not correct. This is not. I need to give the source range. Int it. That should be indicated in Excel. We got. What is this destination? Output I will put for Excel for this is not exist. If not it. Now I should get the range if I click on this plus sign. Create variable, use variable. See, when I go here, now can you see that it will come because I didn't get a range. I need to give the range. I need to give indicate, create a variable. I don't want to create a variable. I want to refer that cell. You can see there is an option called indicate in Excel. I should get it. Create pivot table. That does. Can you check the change? That is Excel source. Expression means where we want to keep the table. No, I understand what is this variable is. I've seen the previous version. We don't have this option. Now only they added this new feature. Where is my data? Where is the variable here? What is this ID range? D name. I think we have created it somewhere. UiPath Excel dot. I read right range reference. Can we put DST here? In source we can use DST. I read range workbook. Book. See, can you see the read range? I read range. If I put a 1-colon GG444, it's giving it a go. Read range. I'm saving that into data table. This is my data table. When I go and click on this create variable, you can see a data table. Use variable open via data. Can you see data table? That is correct. But why it is not creating the range? My. If I go 1 colon D48, what is this? No, it is not accepting. That is a doubt I have. There's a new concept they added. I will range. See, this is what I gave. It is already there. Studio X I can give like this. I convert true function. How the non-technical people understand you. Excel.sheet.range. They're asking to give like this very bad Excel.sheet. The sheet name.range. They asked to give how this. That's one. I didn't teach that method. What they're saying is here. Excel.sheet, Excel sheet, see workbook. Select ranges there. But here they get Excel.sheet. What is the sheet name? No, she named it. Sheet 1. They're not, it's coming. It's not coming. Dot range into a 1 colon G4. Still I'm getting an error. Excel select range. Select range. Dot do1 colon G, still I'm getting an error. Now it is coming. No, she's not getting either. No. At the. It's not even coming with convert through function. Excel.sheet.range. This is not working. These all new things they added in automation. We knew, I thought. That is our pay. Now that is going to be called as our developer. Reading. This is what we studied now. This is what we started, but new version. What is the new version? No, but again, the solution is for this. Creating a pivot. See Studio X, we have this object. Creating a pivot table is very easy. Can you check with this to Excel to if it is in there? In Studio X, we have it, that I'm sure about it. See when you go to the Home, Settings License and Profile change. Profile Studio X. I know that it started. I know that it is there in Studio X we have. That's only what we do. The pivot table is too complicated here. We recommend to go for a macro. Now can you see I'm creating a new project, blank task, for creating a pivot table, just to make you to understand. But I don't know. But I'll show you in Studio X. Why that I read range is not taking, I don't know. See, I passed today. It's mainly designed for citizen developer. They don't have much complicated commands. Use application scope. I can tell the Excel applications for which is my Excel application scope when I go to the desktop. Then I can go on use create pivot table. Create pivot table. The same thing. Can you see here? You can go on, click on this. Can you see it is automatically taking a pivot table? Now what you can do it is, you can click on this plus sign. Where is my create pivot table? You can give it as Excel application scope property. What is the name of this Excel application? Scope desktop. Existing workbook output. Can you see output? Create a variable. Let me give it as a what is a workbook. You can create an output. Now when you click on here, you can see that saved, changed off. Open advanced editor. See here again, here also. Why am I getting that Excel? 1 minute. Account setting. Where is the setting option? Account mode. Op- option. My options are not going. I think my Excel have a problem. Excel when I open my Excel. That should be. You can see there is an option for indicating Excel. Op- Why am I not getting option? I think my Excel have a problem. Can I go to that? Add ins. Click that. Add. Can you see a UiPath integration Excel add ins? It is installed. Can you see that? UiPath integration Excel add ins which one? This one. It is there. Click. Click. It's there for you. It is there for you. Now can you open UiPath? You mean to say, I will try. Like setting. Go to license and profile. License and profile. Change profile. UiPath Studio. One thing I will do in the chat. I will attach the file. Length. Create a thing. Some paper table. Working with paper table. Create it. We are taking time. First time we are using, Go to the home. Create a new problem. You created no. Activity on the left side. Can you see activity? Click that use Excel file. You drag it. Now you can open any Excel file. Can you open it? I can open it. Should I create a simple file? One thing I will do. I will do this one. What size file? Now you can create a pivot table. Click on the plus sign. Inside. Can you see plus sign? Create pivot table. Pivot table. No pivot. If you search, it will come. Can you see? Create pivot table. Now you can click on the plus sign. Can you see sheet 1? Dotted edges. Can you see this option will come? But I don't know my interest. Click on the plus sign. Now you can give text. This one. What is the name you want to give for the create pivot table? Click on the plus sign. Give the new table name. Save. Save it. and then destination, where you want to give the pivot table Excel. Indicate in Excel. You can use custom input also. Custom input. No, go to the Excel. Click on the plus sign. Custom input. Custom input. Give the sheet. Give the sheet name. You can give text. Give new sheet name text. You no need to type a sheet name. What is the sheet name you want to keep? 2. Keep sheet. Save it. Can you see? This is very easy. No need to put double quotes. Nothing like that. Add pivot table. Add pivot table fields. Still, we didn't select. Add pivot table fields. Can you see plus sign here? Can you see plus sign? Wait. Change range. Can you see it showing all the column magic? It's very simple. Based on which, whatever it may be, you want it in the row wise or you want as a column wise. You want row wise or column wise? Row wise, I can put here this one. Anyway, company name I can put just. You want it row wise or column wise? Row wise. Put it in row. Again, add pivot table. Again, select the column. Click on the plus sign. Range. Which column you want to summarize it? Column means 1, 2, 3. This you want. We'll try. Column wise. Then again click on add pivot table. Add pivot table. Again click on plus. Which column range? Which column you want to summarize? Revision or GPO and which value? This revenue or revenue. Select this value. Choose it as a value. Then sum. I need some of this. Now run the bot. That's it. Run option is here. Green color. Green color at the top. Next to the publish button. This is mainly designed for citizen developers. It's very easy, but many process they automated at it. Many process which were it's very simple, but sometimes if you find challenges, we can get it. Now it's executed. Can you see last and successful? When you go on, click on it, you can see a pivot table. Can you select sheet 2? Got it. Got it now, I understand. I will manage by this notion. I can prepare it. Maybe you will teach me later. I prepared the UiPath tool and now I want to generate. Every time I will not go to the UiPath. No need. No need one time, but your input data should change. This workbook, you need to change it or you need to keep the workbook somewhere in detail, somewhere in a common path. Every month. If I get this data, I just paste it here and then run the bot. That's it. It is done here or something. I guess it is showing. No, that's only when you talk about UiPath Studio. You have to run. You can run from orchestrate. But if you're using UiPath Studio X, you can run from your UiPath assistant. That I will explain you later. I got it? Got. Basically, I got the logic. From here I can work, but I will check this. This is something which I'm facing, new thing in UiPath Studio. I'll give the solution tomorrow. That I read range. Ref is not working. Got it. Got it, I will shave it. This is Studio X. But we are not learning Studio X, we are learning Studio. How we can create pivot table in Studio X Studio, I will tell you tomorrow. No, you should know. I just understood how to create, how to run from. Now I got it this. I want to know how it will develop. Anyway, it should be X, but I understand the logic. You can go back to Studio X. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@uptalk.com.